wanna la la la. I wanna la. I wanna la la la. I wanna la. I wanna la la la.
Welcome to episode 12 of JSE Sens'd. This is where we make sense so you can make sense. Just like all of our other episodes, JSE Sens'd must not be taken because it's not intended as financial advice. JSE Sens'd is strictly for informational and commentary purposes only. It's not even comprehensive enough to constitute educational material. We are only talking about the announcements that are made by JSE listed companies. We do, however, have educational material. You can reach out to us on the WhatsApp number in the description box, which is going to take you through from the first step, the first things you need to be aware of as a retail investor, all the way to a position where you can invest with confidence. So for educational material, reach out to us on that number in the description box. Financial advisors are trained professionals. They consider your holistic financial life before they give you financial recommendations. So avoid just listening to content on TikTok or on YouTube and taking that as financial advice. If you are investing on your own and you also self-studied these things, we encourage you to verify the information you find in our episodes. But if you don't have the know-how to do this on your own, do the right thing and reach out to a registered and authorized financial advisor. The first company we are going to talk about is SPEAR, REIT. REIT stands for Real Estate Investment Trust. We spoke about SPEAR, I think, 2 times before in our episodes. And this is the third time. This is the third episode that features SPEAR. And I think, let me just say this. Today's episode, you will notice that it's featuring property companies and mining companies, right? So we are going to start with property companies. It's only 2 of them. And then we are going to go over to the mining companies, right? So SPEAR is listed on the JSE with a ticker symbol SEA. The first announcement that we are going to talk about is the one that they released, letting the market know that they have acquired or purchased or bought Back River Business Park in Paarl. Excuse me, I think Paarl is in Cape Town. Never been there, but yeah, it's actually in Cape Town. So SPEAR has bought Back River Business Park there. And according to this announcement, it seems like it's a rental enterprise. The business park is a rental enterprise, meaning maybe they have rented out they have office space to rent out, and you find that they already have people who occupy those office spaces. There's actually 2 announcements by SPEAR. That was the first one. The second one is the one that's going to also include SPEAR's current trading prices and stuff. So the first one was released around the 6th of August, which is like 3 days ago. But this second one was released around the 8th of August, yesterday. SPEAR has been busy, guys, and that's why we talk a lot about it in our episodes. It has been busy. They're really like making moves in that company. So if I can remember correctly, the 2 episodes where we spoke about SPEAR, it was one guy. His name has just left my mind now. Christian Barnard. Christian Barnard was the director who was making transactions in SPEAR shares. But today, in this second announcement, it's not him. It's another director who has made transactions in their shares, but it's not Christian Barnard. This one goes by the name Quinton Michael Rossi. He's an executive of Spear, and he purchased shares in the name of associate. He didn't purchase them in his own names. So on the 6th of August, he purchased about 1,020 shares, right? 1,200, I'm sorry. He purchased about 1,200 shares at a price of 10 rands and 20 cents each. He spent about 12,240. I think you will be pleased to know that he bought these shares for his child, I'm assuming, because the name of the associate is Miss Miss Rossi. Sounds like it's his daughter. I'm just assuming, right? It could be his niece or something. It also says that the relationship with the director is a minor child. So it's an indirect beneficial since he bought the shares for someone else, right? And he did 2 transactions. It wasn't just that one alone. He also bought 1,200 shares again at the same price of 10 rands and 20 cents. He spent the same amount of 12,240, but this time around, he bought the shares for Miss EFR Rossi. Sounds like another daughter, if it's his daughter or niece, but it's a minor child and it's a female. Could be his daughter. So yeah, I think it's quite interesting. He's a director of this company. His colleague has been scooping up the shares of this company, and he himself has decided to spend about 24,480 buying shares for his daughters or his nieces. So they really believe in this company. That's what you want to see in a company. You want to see a company that its own management is buying because they probably know something. And besides, they just bought a new building in Cape Town. And if it's a rental building, then maybe they're expecting to be making a lot in the foreseeable future. The second transaction is also an indirect beneficial because it wasn't in his names. Spear has an all-time high of 11 rands and 50 cents per share since July 2018, and it's currently trading around 10 rands per share. So this guy has bought around 10 rands 20 cents. He's currently in minor losses because he bought at 10 rand 20 cents. It's currently around 10 rands, but it's just minor losses. And another interesting thing about Spear is that it's trading around its all-time high. So let me know what you think about Spear, man. I really like how its own management believes in it, how they've been buying up the shares in that particular company. The next property company we are going to talk about, the second company of the episode, is ACSION Limited. ACSION is spelled ACSION, not action, not the action with a T. It's listed on the JSE with the ticker symbol ACS, right? It has also announced that there has been transactions in the company shares. And I remember looking into ACSION about a few days ago, but it was during this week. And this person, this director, K. Anastasiadis, that wasn't a mistake. I think it's the CEO of ACSION. ACSION is in the property business also, and it's the company currently building the second tallest building in Cape Town, the second tallest skyscraper. They're going to call it Axiopolis, something like that, Axiopolis 2. I'm guessing they are naming it after the company. So K. Anastasiadis has made transactions in the company shares, but not in his or her names. I'm not even sure if it's a female or a male. The name of the associate is Southern Palace. That's the one that he or she is transacting on behalf of. He or she purchased the shares on the market on the 7th of August, and he or she bought about 131,250 shares. And the average price that he or she paid for these shares was around 7 rand and 98 cents, right? They spent, let me stop saying he or she, they spent around 1,048,000. I'll put the full amount on the screen. ACSION Limited has an all-time high of 13 rands per share, which it achieved in April this year. It's currently trading around 8 rands, meaning they are simply in profit now, since they bought around 798 cents. So yeah, let me know what you think about ACSION. I remember not so long ago, I think it was last month or 2 months ago, I was looking at the charts and I noticed that ACSION has went up about 50% in one day. I think it had something to do with a sale. I think there's another company that wanted to take over ACSION, but that transaction seems to have failed. And ACSION is still going to continue operating as ACSION. So let me know what you think about this one, man. I mean, it's trading around 8 rands currently, but this company has so much money. They are building the second tallest skyscraper in Cape Town. Apparently, it's going to have a pool on the 22nd floor. It's going to have 41 floors in total, and it's like a very modern type of building. So there's just a lot going on there, man. I think it's a sign that the South African property market is not doing so bad after all, if you can. The previous episode, I was talking about Redefine selling Rosebank Corner. Now Spear is buying a building in Cape Town. ACSION is now building the second tallest skyscraper. I think there's another announcement that I read somewhere about Foresight buying properties around Centurion, actually, where I am now. But Foresight was buying those properties from its CEO. But it was buying properties. I mean, let me know what you think about that and the overall property market in South Africa. Let's go to the mining side of this episode. The first mining company we are going to talk about, and the third company we are going to talk about in this episode, is Orion Minerals. We spoke about Orion previously, I think 2 times, if I'm not mistaken. It's listed on the JSE with the ticker symbol ORN. It's a fairly small miner. It's very, very, very small, Orion. And it's an Australian company actually, but it's dual listed on JSE and in Australia. So in this particular announcement, they were saying that the Orion team will provide an update on project development and exploration activities at the company's flagship Prieska Copper Zinc Mine and the Oakip Copper Project, both located in Northern Cape Province of South Africa. So they were just inviting their shareholders to a webinar, and it has already passed, unfortunately. It was on the 1st of August, Friday, commencing around 10 a.m. in Australian time. So it has already passed, but I remember us talking about Orion in previous episodes. The thing is, I've had this announcement for some time now. I couldn't shoot this episode because I was busy shooting a class for our educational material. So that's why this thing even passed before I could record it. Orion is currently trading around 12 cents per share. Imagine if you bought these shares and forgot about them. But yeah, like I just said, they're still in the exploration activity stage. They're not mining and selling their product. So a lot could go wrong. There's a lot of risks. Let's say everything goes well and you bought the shares for 12 cents. Bro, you can spend 100 rand, you get so many shares. If one share is 12 cents and you just forgot about it, you don't even log in every day to check how it's performing and stuff like that, just 12 cents, buy those shares, forget about it. Or maybe buy them in your kid's name. Even if you don't have a kid yet, you give the shares to them whenever you have kids. I don't know. I'm not saying you should. I don't own Orion myself. I'm just saying this. It has an all-time high of R1.80, which it achieved back in 2017. The second mining company we are going to talk about, and the fourth company for this episode, is Jubilee Metals Group, PLC. So by now you should know that a PLC means it was incorporated outside of South Africa, because companies incorporated in South Africa have a LTD at the end of their names. And Jubilee is not listed on the main board of the JSE. It's also fairly a very small mining company. If it does perform well enough, then they're going to graduate and migrate it to the main board. It's currently listed on the AltX, the alternative exchange for smaller businesses, right? But it's listed with the ticker symbol JBL, not the music one. So they released an announcement just updating people on what's happening in Zambia and the proposed sale of South African business, right? It says here, Jubilee is a diversified metals producer with operations in South Africa and Zambia. So in this particular announcement, they mentioned that Jubilee has acquired extensive copper resources in Zambia, and they have developed a three-pillar diversified platform on the back of its growing presence in Zambia. So if you are interested in Jubilee, I would suggest that you go to JSE website and go and find this particular announcement, because it's very long and very detailed in terms of whatever they are doing in Zambia. So if you're interested in this particular company, when you go make your research, remember this is where we just simplify these things and let you know what's going on. But before you invest in any of these companies, you need to make your extensive research. Before you go and do that, I would really recommend that you go and read this entire announcement. Now, let me give you something that will maybe compel you and push you to go and read it. Jubilee is currently trading around 68 cents per share. It's also fairly a very small mine. Imagine buying a mine for less than R1 per share, bro. Orion or Jubilee. It has an all-time high of about 20 rands, and it looks like it achieved this all-time high soon as it was listed, because where the price starts on TradingView, it just starts and then it spikes up to 20 rands and then it drops heavily, and now it's trading around 68 cents, meaning it's down 96% from the all-time high. Let me know what you think about these small mining companies, man. I mean, they cannot all fail, right? There's going to be those ones that really succeed, and the fact that you can buy them for less than R1 per share is just, it's mind-blowing. Now, the fourth company we are going to talk about in this episode, and the third mining company, is Alphamin. Alphamin was incorporated in Mauritius, and it's listed on JSE with the ticker symbol APH. It's in the business of mining tin, TIN. I'm not sure whether it's tin that they use to make tin, you know what we call tin. I don't have a tin. So I'm not sure whether the tin that they mine is the one that ends up making these tins, or maybe I'm wrong, or what. You let me know. But that's what they mine, right? They have issued an announcement declaring dividends for the 6 months ended 30 June 2025. This is the dividend number 7, and they have declared about 90 cents, 91 cents when I round it off, right, per share. This is their dividend number 7, like I said, and the past 6 dividends that they've been paying out have just been increasing consistently, which may sound attractive to certain investors, to the investors who want to invest for dividends. If they have declared 90 cents, 91 cents per share right now, excuse me, you can expect that if everything goes well with their business, next time they declare dividends, they're going to cross 1 rand, because it seems like they just have been increasing consistently. Now, Alphamin has an all-time high of 50 rand, which it achieved in 2022, and it's now currently trading around 13 rands, which is about 73% down. I told you about South African companies. They don't play, Baba. Like, they don't go down like 15, 20% and then come back. No. It can go down like 96% like Jubilee. This one has went down 73% from all-time highs. So we need that figure that we can know that, okay, once a South African company is down so much, it's acceptable to start buying because maybe it's going to start coming back up. But hey, what I've seen for now is just bad. If you want to be able to qualify for Alphamin's 90-cent dividend, you need to make sure that you buy the shares on or before the 26th of August, which will be a Tuesday. If you buy any later than that, you're not going to get the dividend. So let me know what you think about Alphamin on WhatsApp or in the comment section. The next company we are going to talk about is EXXARO Resources Limited. EXXARO is listed on the JSE with the ticker symbol EXX. I actually don't stay that far away from EXXARO's head office in Centurion. It's just here. I can walk and just pass there and be like, I'm a shareholder. I'm lying, I'm not a shareholder for EXXARO. My dad is. My dad has a Easy Equities account. Obvious. My dad is a shareholder because he used to work there. So he worked there, they paid him a salary, and then he took that money and bought shares. Now he's on pension, they gave him his pension money, but he's still getting paid from EXXARO. That's the same thing I did when I left ABSA myself. I used to work for ABSA, they paid me a salary. When I left, they gave me my pension when I resigned. And even after I left, I still invested in ABSA and they were still paying me. Yeah. So my dad is still getting paid from EXXARO. I don't know why I mentioned that, but yeah, he does. EXXARO has came out with an announcement to let you know that someone has bought more shares into EXXARO. They increased their stake, and this person goes by the name of Coronation. Coronation, I think it's an asset management company. So it now owns about 5.07% of the total issued share capital of EXXARO. That's a big deal. 5% is they see it on the table and make decisions with 5%. It's a big deal. EXXARO has an all-time high of 238 rands per share, which it achieved back in 2022, and it's currently trading around 163 rands, which means it's about 30% down from its all-time high. The coal business, the coal business is not doing so well, so I wouldn't be surprised. I also noticed that Thungela was breathing through the wounds. So that's why I'm like, the coal business is not doing so well. But EXXARO is very diversified. It's not just into coal. And back home where I'm from, because I'm not a Centurion kid. I'm from Limpopo, the Palai. Back home where I'm from, there's an EXXARO mine. And they currently have one of the biggest solar projects in Limpopo. So they are expanding into solar now. They have other metals that they are mining. They're not just focused on coal. So that's one thing about EXXARO. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section or on WhatsApp. The next mining company we are going to talk about is Thungela. Thungela is heavy into the coal mining business. It's listed on the JSE with the ticker symbol TGA. We spoke about this one before. So they also just came out with a trading statement, an announcement of a trading statement, and Thungela, like I said, it's breathing through the pipes. They are expecting that their earnings per share will decrease by between 78 to 85%. That's a big deal. Their headline earnings per share will decrease by between 78 and 85% as well. That's a big deal. So Thungela is very, very heavy on that mining business. That's why I was like, the coal mining business is not doing so well right now. But if there's one thing about mining businesses, they are very cyclical, right? It doesn't mean that since they're not doing well now, they're not going to do well forever. I know that they are trying to phase out fossil fuels and encouraging cleaner energy and renewables and stuff like that. But coal is still the business. Coal is still very much in use, right? So you can just take this as a cycle. If you want to invest in these companies, go and do your further research and really make sure it's a cycle, because even these cycles, somewhere, somehow, they're going to come to an end when everyone suddenly eventually adopts cleaner energy. So it could be a cycle. It could be the end of all those cycles, and maybe coal businesses are really, really, really. So make sure you make your due diligence before investing in these companies. Thungela has an all-time high of 382 rands per share, and it's currently trading only around 93 rands per share, which means it's down 76%. South African companies will go down, bro. Like, they'll go down. When they go down, they don't play. They go down like American companies go up. Like South African companies will dip. I remember some people online celebrating the dividends they used to get from Thungela. So imagine if they're still going to get those fat dividends. If their earnings are expected to drop between 78 and 85%, the dividends come from earnings. If a company is not earning well, why would you expect it to pay you? So I remember people saying Thungela was a solid dividend payer. They got caught now, because if it started going down so much, and maybe by the time it was down 50%, they were buying the dip. Then it was 60%, they were buying the dip, thinking that it's going to go back up and keep paying them those good dividends. Now it's at 76%. They're like, hey. They're no longer buying the dip. They're thinking of selling those losses, or maybe holding until it recovers. I don't know. If you're holding Thungela, I'm sorry. It's not personal. But let me know what you're going to do with that particular situation. The last mining company we are going to talk about in this episode is Gold Fields Limited. Now, you know, when it says limited, it's a South African company. Gold Fields is listed on the JSE with the ticker symbol GFI. And this one is doing well, Baba. This one is doing well. Gold has been rising, right? The price of gold has created fresh all-time highs this year, and it's still trading around those high prices. And Gold Fields itself, wait, let me not get ahead of myself. You will get it. They released a trading statement as well for the month ended 30 June 2025. They are expecting their earnings per share to go up by between 153% to 181%. That's a big deal, man. These are the companies currently creating earnings. So if you are looking for a company that can pay you well in dividends, it has to reflect in its earnings, right? This company has grew its earnings by between 153% and 181%. That's a big deal. And they say the increase is primarily driven by higher gold volumes sold in conjunction with the higher gold prices that I was talking about. And they are saying here, gold volumes sold are expected to increase further into the second half of 2025. So I don't know whether they are just using that as bait to attract more investments. But yeah, if you've been around for some time, you know that it's never really a good idea to buy at the top. So you will go running there saying, they said it themselves. They said they will still sell a lot more volumes in the second quarter. You buy those shares and then gold starts dipping. And now you're holding losses. So do your due diligence. Don't just invest based on what this company say. They are going to say this because they want investors, right? It's very obvious. Gold Fields is currently trading around 557 rands for one share. And this is the highest high it has ever been. It's currently trading at the highest point it has ever been. This is one of the companies that have been doing well on the JSE. Like gold mining companies in South Africa have just been doing so well. I see that platinum companies are starting to catch up. Platinum and what's that other metal? Is it copper? No, it's not copper. Rhodium. Rhodium is also a PGM. That we call them PGMs, platinum group metals. It has also been doing well. It's getting some traction. But gold has been by far performing very well. If you search the top 5 performers on the JSE for this year, you'll find Gold Fields, you'll find Anglo Gold Ashanti, you'll find DRD, you'll find Harmony. Those are gold miners, and then you find other miners, and then comes all the other companies. So let me know what you think about gold, whether we are at the top, now we're going to start coming down. You have to consider the geopolitical situation, what's happening around the world, right? Because the reason gold has been flying like this is because people see it as a safe haven. We want to invest in gold in order to be safe, because when there's instability and uncertainty, like Trump's tariffs and how unpredictable he is, governments and big money institutions are buying gold to be safe, right? So you have to look at that and then figure out whether gold is going to start coming down, figure out whether the situation is improving, whether we are seeing some certainty or not, or maybe gold prices are still going to continue going up like Gold Fields is saying. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section or on WhatsApp. So that's just about it with episode 12 of JSE Sens'd. You already know this is where we make sense make sense, so you can make sense.
Tangeray cold. If you do like me, you already know. Fuck the low. I tie my J's cold. Tangeray cold. If you do like me, you already know. Fuck the low. And we blow it in the atmosphere.